All right, everybody, what up and welcome to the first ever YouTube video that I created today. I was not planning on continuing with this YouTube channel idea that I had because earlier today I failed my 75-day hard challenge on day 73. And it was really, really difficult for me. I was not happy about it at all. And basically, I went through the 75 hard challenge. If you don't know what that is, we'll explain it later. The one and only, Alyssa, say hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks.
That's it? That's all you're gonna say?
This is it.
What is it? Are you gonna show it off? This is Alyssa's air filter.
Hair filter.
What else did you get?
Pajamas and stocking stuffers.
Nice. Good job. Starting this vlog off, it's going to be really bad. It's going to be super ugly and edited poorly, not very good content. But it is going to be done, and there's a reason. That's because I was talking with a few of my friends earlier today, and they were giving me some words of encouragement because I failed my 75 hard challenge, which, if you don't know what that is, it's 2 workouts each day, 45 minutes each. One of them has to be outside. The other one one just has to be outside. I don't know where I was going with that. And then you got to read 10 pages a day and follow a strict diet, no sweets. And so anyways, I've been doing the 75 hard challenge, failed today, and just had some good words of encouragement. And mostly what I realized is how helpful it can be to have somebody in your life that's pushing hard and trying to accomplish new things. So that being said, it's not like thousands and millions of people are going to watch this video ever. But hopefully there's at least one person out there that can get motivated from what I'm trying to accomplish and what I'm trying to do out here, which is basically sift through all of the data, sift through everything that's going on out there. There's so many different blogs, so many different vlogs, and so many different articles, research studies that have been done, books that have been written, so many self-help gurus out there trying to help you grow and help you become a better person, all of that, yada, yada, yada. My goal with this is to try and test these as a human, as an individual, and see which ones work the best, which ones give the best results, and what you can do in your life in a nutshell, the Cliff Notes version or the short version of how to change your life for the better, and give you that knowledge of how to do that and what to do first, second, third, fourth, down the line to get you the best progression. So going into the 75 hard challenge, it taught me some really important things. First off, I did not realize how long it would take for me to get in shape. Often I would just think to myself like, oh, I could go work out at the gym, or I could do a 2-week, 3-week program or something like that and find myself in the peak physical condition, and didn't really see how far off the edge I had fallen as far as physical fitness went, because I just assumed like, okay, 2 weeks, 1 week of heavy intensive training, or even a month of heavy intensive training would get me where I wanted to be physically. So I kept putting that and procrastinating that over and over again. But I have now learned that that is not going to work. Even after spending 75 days, I'm just realizing how bad the lighting is here. So we'll fix that next time. Super ADD. So be prepared to have a lot of tangents and swerves along the way. Anyways, realize how hard you have to work to make the change that you want to implement in your life. And that it's not just the turn of a light switch to go from what you imagine yourself to be sort of fit. Like, if I don't care where you are in life, unless you are following a regimented program right now, currently like running marathons or being active and being in that position that you want, you are not where you you are not as close to success as you actually think you are. And that's something that you need to acknowledge, because it's actually going to be the thing that helps you realize, like, oh, I got to do a lot more to get to where I want to be, because I'm a lot further away than I thought. So that being said, that's one of the big lessons that I learned from the 75 hard challenges. One, you are not as close as you think you are, and there's a lot more work that's going to go into what you need to do to get to where you want to be. So I wanted to have a six-pack, I wanted to lose my body fat, and I thought that that would be something that I could take away and do with a 30-day program or a 20-day workout routine, or just going to the gym and really busting balls and working my ass off. It's not the case. I was way further away than I thought, and that's something you guys can take action items from this video right off the bat. And again, I talked about how very tangent person, and I think that was a huge tangent, because I'm really just explaining what this whole channel is about right now, why you would want to follow it, why you want to reach out to others. And if you haven't already, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to try and send out as much content as I possibly can about self-help, motivation, and getting that across, while also doing these challenges. Challenges is a funny thing. Doing what it's told to do in the book, and I'm going to try and do them as textbook as I possibly can, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and just get down to the nitty gritty when it comes to this. So here's another little nugget here, and maybe this will get fixed in post, but here's another tangent, is basically that I'm going to do this as like a real person, and not as like somebody that has super success in their life right now. But that doesn't mean like I'm just like everybody can do this, because I'm a normal person. When you look at like Bill Gates, I almost said Tom Cruise. I guess you could say Tom Cruise. He's a successful guy. When you look at successful people, you often think like, oh my gosh, these people have it all together. They are perfect human beings. But when you look at all of these self-help gurus, whether it's Hal Elrod from the Miracle Morning, Mel Robbins from the 5-second rule, or Compound Effect with Darren Hardy, and specifically coming to my mind is our good friend, man, now I can't think of his name, but from Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. These people all have one thing in common, and this is the thing that you have in common with each one of these people, is they're very, very imperfect people. They all come from a really diverse background, and all come from struggles and trials, and that's something that's completely levels the playing field for everybody out there. So if you feel like because you don't have $1 million right now, or you didn't grow up in the perfect family life, or you didn't have all the things aligned in your life to find success and to have success, first off, success is a really big variable. What you're defining success as and what you see people and say that they have success as is totally in your eyes. So you really need to define what the success is that you're looking for. And second off is everybody that does have, I guess, what you would consider on a general sense, the success of whether it be making really good money, or having really good fitness, or having a really good mental health lifestyle, or a spiritual lifestyle, whatever those things are that you have deemed as successful, all of those people are imperfect. And though you may think that they have success in all of these other areas, they're very much imperfect. So what am I saying here is the second little lesson from this video is that we're all really, really imperfect. So just go out and use that imperfection and use that knowledge to realize that all these people have imperfections. But the difference is, because we're all the same, right, in the imperfections, the difference is they pushed through their imperfections and didn't use them as excuses. So that's the big value there is, yeah, you need to learn that all these people have different negative experiences that have pushed them back in their lives. But what they didn't do is allow those negativities to give them excuses to not move forward and not progress in their life. And they didn't use any of those things as excuses. And oftentimes they used them as springboards to push themselves into success. So kind of the reason why we're starting this blog here, or starting vlog, or whatever you want to call this YouTube channel, podcast, whatever this becomes, is because of a failure that I had, which was a failure with the 75 Hard Challenge. I didn't realize like how big of an influence one person can have, even just on one other person's life. So the whole goal of this, again, is to just, if there's somebody out there that gets one little nugget from this, that's my goal. That's my goal, is to give you that little nugget, that little push to go a little further than you have and what you have in the past. And I'm going to tangent here. So if you're editing this, I don't know who's going to be editing this, but if you're editing this, there's a good little nugget here. So something I learned in the 75 Hard Challenge was this principle of ghosts. That's what I'm going to call it, the ghost principle. So I'm sure everybody that's watching this, if you're over 20, has played Mario Kart or some sort of video game that has this ghost feature in it if you're playing single player. And if you're like me, you played single player often because not a lot of people wanted to play with you. Anyways, so you're going around the Mario Kart track. Moo Moo Farms is a great example. You're going around the track, and as soon as you finish a lap, when you're playing single player with the ghost mode on, the ghost now starts racing you. So you're racing yourself, right? And this principle is something my grandpa tried to teach to me. He has a bunch of quotes, and maybe I'll bring a few of them in here, but this one is a really good quote, is let thy competition be with thine own self, for thou art the great challenge which must be bested. So you got this ghost that you're now racing, right? So you're racing this ghost, and you can see it. Sometimes you're in front of it, sometimes you're behind it. Well, I was running for one of the first times in my life while doing the 75 Hard Challenge, and I was trying to beat 5 miles in 45 minutes, which for me is just an unbelievable accomplishment. It's a torrential downpour, like absolute craziest rain I've ever seen in my life in Texas, Dallas, Texas, right next to the DFW airport. I'm right next to where you park your car in long-term parking at the Town Place Suites or whatever that is in there. So I'm running, and I have this runner's high. And if you haven't experienced a runner's high before, go out and run your heart out until you do, because it's really cool. It's not like a getting high, type of experience, or however you would experience getting high. But it's something that, like, all of a sudden my brain just saw so clearly, and I could see in front of me was my ghost, right? And it was me running in front of me, but I could also see my ghost behind me in this runner's high, and this kind of like weird vision thing that I was having. It was just more or less a clarity of mind. And behind me, I always saw, and I wish you could see this better on this camera, but I always saw like that when you stop running and you put your hands up and you're like breathing super deep. I could see every time I took a step was me giving up and being somewhat proud because I had ran, 2, 3, 4, I'm seeing this as I'm continually going through these miles. But what I could see in front of me was just that absolute excitement of just accomplishing that goal. And I could see it like every step. And that just kept me going and pushing harder and harder and maintaining my mile pace that I needed to do to complete that challenge. So this ghosting idea is this is where I came up with the whole ghosting idea, that you need to be able to see yourself not only succeeding in a real time, an actual visualization of yourself succeeding and what that feels like, but also see your failure behind you, and that you've ran and you've already accomplished more than you ever have in your life every time you take one more step forward. Every time you take that step and you can imagine that person yourself behind you, giving up, taking those breaths and relaxing and giving up and giving into the temptation of not completing your goal. Every time you can really visualize that and realize that you just ran past that person. That's a very real person. That was you seconds ago. That is who you were seconds ago. And you are now in front of where you were just seconds ago. So that's the ghosting principle. Super powerful visualization tool that's helped me get through this 75 hard challenge. And I'll talk a little bit more about it, but it helped me actually go from only running ever in my entire life 9 miles, which was, I think, 10 years ago, to actually running a marathon for the first time in my life, totally and 100% just off the cuff. I'd love to tell that story now, but I'm not going to get as tangent now. But long story short, just totally off the cuff, started running on one of my 45-minute workouts from my front door and just kept running till I ran 27 miles. And it's that principle of ghosting that helped me get through that. So if you're a runner or a racer, or you're doing anything of that sort, skateboarding, for me wakeboarding, or whatever it is, you can take that tool and actually visualize yourself physically doing those things. But you can also use that tool regardless of what you do. For me, I'm in sales, so I can imagine myself closing a deal, getting a deal, and what it takes to get to the next door, because I do door-to-door sales. So I can imagine myself knocking on one more door, knocking on another door, and pushing through the agony that it is, because it's a really hard job. But that ghosting principle has helped me a ton throughout my life. So that's it for the ghosting. So whoever's editing this, peace on that section. Burping. Going back into what this vlog is actually about, this podcast, this whatever this is. We are talking about this channel, what it is, and how it's developed and why it's developed. Again, this is really the infant stages of it. And the only reason why we're doing this is because we want to, reach out to anybody that's going through anything right now and say that you can do it. If this helps just one person get better or be better or push harder in any way, shape, or form, that would be amazing. So I failed, again, I've said this 6 times, but if this gets edited and posted, whatever, doesn't come through, I failed my 75 hard challenge today. And here's another little nugget, and this is why I keep talking about this, because it's what has evolved into this, my wife's also doing the 75 hard challenge. She started 3 days after me. And now that I've failed, she has way less motivation to want to keep going down this route. And that's something that's huge to me. I didn't realize how big of an influence I had, even just with my wife, which should be really obvious to me because she's my wife, and my influence on her and her influence on me is really big. But that's something that I'm hoping to cultivate here and help you guys with. If there's anything I can do, if you have any suggestions on videos or books to read, challenges to try, diets to try, things like that, put them in the comments below, because you guys are the one that gets to control this channel. You guys are the viewers, you guys are the ones I'm trying to help. So if I can help you in any way, if you have a thought, whether you've always wanted to try doing keto, or you've always wanted to try doing the miracle morning, waking up at 4:30 every morning or something like that, I'm going to be cycling through these, and a lot of them I've already done before. So if you want to comment below, I can talk to you about the ones that I've already done before, or we could start doing a new challenge. Currently done with the 75 hard challenge. I don't plan on doing it again anytime soon. That being said, I wasn't planning on doing it when I picked it up. But again, comment below what you think is going to be, or comment wherever, I guess, because this could be on multiple platforms. Comment wherever Comments are available here. Smash that like button and that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, but comment what you want next. Most likely the next video is going to be about Darren Hardy's compound effect, because I think it's one of the most valuable tools out there. Actually, that's not true. The next video is going to be 100% about the 75 hard challenge, my experience with the 75 hard challenge, what you can expect going into the 75 hard challenge, how you can succeed and win in the 75 hard challenge, when you would want to do the 75 hard challenge, why you would ever want to do it, and what could be the best, most helpful thing for you guys as you go throughout the 75 hard challenge. So that's most likely going to be the next video, and then we'll go into the compound effect, Darren Hardy, or the miracle morning, Hal Elrod, or, you know, who knows? I don't know. Anyways, enjoy editing this. If you're editing this, I just want to say a huge thanks to you. You guys are what make YouTube work, and if you want to put this in the video, you can, because I think that video editors are the most underrated people on the planet. If you guys didn't exist, nothing would ever get shared or liked or subscribed on. I guess there's some people that are good enough at filming that they could film through a whole thing. I don't know. I'm not even going to dive into that. You guys are amazing. Great work. And thank you so much for taking on this task. I know this is going to be a big one. It's going to be a long adventure together, and super excited to be working with you. But just wanted to put that plug in there, guys, because you really are one of the most important parts about this whole YouTube game, about the whole podcast game. And you're really making a difference. I've been super inspired by YouTube videos in the past. One in particular, I'm sure everybody knows it. It's the guy that's, I want to say it's a David Goggins video, but I don't think it is. I can't remember who the guy is. But anyways, they're doing the football. It's like a football training. And if you're editing this, could you put this like clip in here or somehow like reference this so people know what it is and they can go and watch it? But it's a football training one. The guy's doing like push-ups, you know, doing all the running through, and he's like, oh, there's this guru, and I went to the guru, and he was basically like, you know, come, I'll teach you when you want to learn as much as you want to breathe. And that YouTube video like was the first introduction I had to like motivational speeches outside of like school, and it was super powerful to me, and it made me want to be a motivational speaker, which hopefully that's what I'm doing here. These videos, sharing them with your friends, talking about motivation, and really just bringing to light the good. You know, you talk about motivation, a lot of you probably that are watching this this isn't the first thing you've ever seen when it comes to motivation. So you probably heard the story of the two wolves. The one you feed the most is the one that survives, right? So if you fill your life with this motivational stuff, if you put this as the content that's continually coming up in your suggested for you videos, if you see that more often than some random, you know, cat video or random video about airplanes, or, you know, I guess airplanes are really motivational to me, so that's not very good example, but, you know, just something that's really distracting. If you see these videos coming up in your feed, then you know that you're on the right track. Stay on that track, you'll find success. Again, success doesn't happen overnight. That's one of the biggest lessons I learned from the 75 Hard Challenge. Is going to take you a lot of time, over and over and over again. You're going to have to push through crap that you don't want to push through. And at the end of the day, guess what? That's what it's all about. Work over and over and over again. And one little nugget from James Clear's Atomic Habits is probably one of the best books ever, by the way, is when you can fall in love with the boring nature of practicing over and over and over again. My wife's a dancer. So, you could think of rehearsing the same dance over and over and over again. And when you can fall in love with the boring stuff, that's when you'll find success in the areas that you're trying to find success. So again, shout out to the editors. When you fall in love with the stuff that I think is really boring, which is editing, and really monotonous, that's why we have, you guys have awesome success and make this success work, is because you guys just do the really tedious stuff over and over again. And that's so true of everything in life. You just got to keep doing it over and over and over again. And that's where success comes from. Again, that's from Atomic Habits, James Clear. When you can fall in love with that boring stuff, that's when you'll find the success to push through and actually get to where you want to be. And then also that's kind of the principle of the compound effect. The small incremental changes are what make the big change over time. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is 25 minutes worth of video. I'll send you some more video content editing person. This is the 115 channel. So the goal originally was that we were going to do one challenge for 1 month in 5 categories. So family, faith, friends, finance, and fitness. We're going to be those 5 categories. But it's kind of morphing as we go. It's still the 115 channel. Still going to focus on the 5 categories. Don't know if we're going to do the once a month thing or the once a day thing. That's a little bit malleable. But the most important thing is that we're going to be focusing on how to have success in the 5 big areas of life, which again are family, faith, finances, fitness, and friends. So all of those 5 together, they coincide, and they're kind of like, for me, the pillars of life, of a successful life. If you have anything to add to those 5, we're still calling it the 115 channel, and maybe that will change, but that's where we came up with 115. Also, 115's my lucky number, also my old race number, so it's just a cool number in general. But yeah, this is the 115 channel. Again, family, faith, finances, friends, and fitness. Once a month and it's got to be able to be doable once a day. So we're going to be looking through things like Darren Hardy's compound effect, the 4-hour work week. We're going to be looking through other things such as, going even to Tony Robbins, looking at all of these people, all the ends of the spectrum, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, to Grant Cardone, and seeing what nuggets we can snag out of this stuff and how we can use that in our lives to have success in these 5 areas. Digging through the fluff and removing that crap, because you guys don't have time to spend your lives looking for that, and just giving you the basics here, which again, I'm going to go over this: family, finances, friends, faith, and fitness. And never in the same order twice. So as we go through those things, if you have any suggestions, comments, challenges that we should do, books that we should read, diets that we should consider, financial advice that we should take, keep it here, bring it here. I'm ready for it all. We're a community. We're going to learn and grow together. But that's the 115 channel. That's what we do. That's why it exists. That's why you're watching it. It's because you want to know how to get better in each one of those areas of your life, which again is family, faith, finances, fitness, and friends. So if you don't want to suck at life, watch this channel. Invite your friends to watch the channel. Give us some advice on what we should be posting out here on the channel, what challenges we should be doing, and then let's have some fun together. Let's see what we got, see what we can do. Peace out, Girl Scouts.